The 16th century was a tumultuous time in Spain, especially for religious minorities. After the fall of Granada in 1492, the last stronghold of Muslim rule in Spain, the Catholic Monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, embarked on a mission to unify the country under Christianity. This led to the Spanish Inquisition, a movement aimed at rooting out heresy and ensuring religious conformity. During this period, Muslims, Jews, and even Christian converts faced immense pressure to assimilate or face expulsion. One group particularly affected by these developments were Moroccan Muslims who migrated to southern Spain for work during the 16th century. Many of these migrants were attracted to Spain's economic opportunities, especially in agriculture and labor, given its proximity to Morocco across the Mediterranean. However, their presence in Spain was fraught with tension and suspicion. During the 16th century, Spain was in the midst of economic expansion, with a growing demand for labor in its southern regions. Moroccan Muslims were seen as a source of cheap labor and were often employed in agriculture, mining, and other industries in Andalusia. Many of these Moroccan Muslims settled in small communities, particularly in rural areas, where they worked as farmhands or manual laborers. Although the economic contributions of Moroccan Muslims were recognized, their religious and cultural differences made them a target of suspicion. The Catholic monarchs and later Spanish rulers had instituted policies that marginalized non-Christians, and the Inquisition was particularly vigilant about monitoring the activities of Muslims and Jews. The Moroccan Muslims who migrated to Spain found themselves living in a society where their religion and cultural practices were viewed with great suspicion. Spain's rulers were determined to create a unified Christian kingdom, and the presence of Muslims was seen as a threat to this vision. Despite many Moroccan Muslims living peacefully and contributing to the economy, they were often treated as second-class citizens. Inquisitors viewed these Muslims, who were also known as Moriscos, Muslim converts to Christianity, as potentially dangerous. There was a widespread fear that these Muslim communities could be secretly practicing Islam or conspiring with the Ottoman Empire, which was expanding its influence in the Mediterranean at the time. This suspicion was exacerbated by the fact that many Muslims continued to speak Arabic, maintain their traditional customs, and resist complete assimilation into Christian society. The Spanish Inquisition played a central role in the growing discrimination and eventual expulsion of Moroccan Muslims. Established to enforce religious orthodoxy, the Inquisition targeted those who were suspected of not being true Christians. This included not only Jews and Protestants, but also Muslims who had converted to Christianity, as the authorities were suspicious of crypto-Muslims who secretly adhered to their former faith. The Inquisition regularly conducted investigations into Muslim communities, often based on flimsy evidence or accusations from neighbors. Moroccan Muslims, like other Moriscos, were frequently forced to publicly renounce their faith and embrace Christianity. Failure to comply or suspicion of false conversion often led to severe punishment, including imprisonment, torture, and even execution. The Inquisition created an atmosphere of fear and paranoia, where Muslims were constantly under scrutiny. By the late 16th century, the situation for Moroccan Muslims in Spain became increasingly dire. The Spanish monarchy, particularly under Philip II, was determined to rid the country of religious minorities who were seen as incompatible with the vision of a purely Catholic nation. The Moriscos, many of whom were descendants of the original Muslim population in Spain, were forced to convert or face expulsion. In 1609, under King Philip III, the Spanish crown issued an official decree expelling the Moriscos from Spain. Although the decree mainly targeted the descendants of Muslim families who had lived in Spain for centuries, it also affected more recent Moroccan Muslim migrants. Tens of thousands of Moriscos were forcibly removed from their homes and sent across the Mediterranean to North Africa. Many of them died during the journey, while others faced harsh conditions upon arriving in unfamiliar lands. The expulsion was brutal and had devastating consequences for the Moroccan Muslim community in Spain. Families were torn apart, livelihoods destroyed, and cultural heritage erased. The expulsion of the Moriscos also marked the final stage of the Reconquista, effectively eliminating the Muslim presence that had once thrived in Spain for nearly 8 centuries. Despite the expulsion, the legacy of Moroccan Muslims in Spain remains evident today. Their contributions to agriculture, architecture, and cultural practices during their time in Spain left an indelible mark on the country's history. Many of the regions where Moroccan Muslims once lived still bear traces of their influence in the form of place names, agricultural techniques, and remnants of Islamic architecture. Additionally, the story of Moroccan Muslims in Spain is a reminder of the complex history of religious and cultural coexistence, as well as the tragic consequences of intolerance and discrimination. The expulsion of the Moriscos stands as one of the darkest chapters in Spain's history, symbolizing the loss of diversity and the dangers of forced assimilation and religious persecution. Today, the memory of these Moroccan Muslims serves as a testament to the rich multicultural history of Spain, where Christians, Muslims, and Jews once coexisted in relative harmony before the rise of the Inquisition and the push for religious uniformity. Their story is a reflection of the broader struggles of minority groups throughout history who, despite their contributions to society, often face suspicion, discrimination, and expulsion